Okay, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back for another TCE Supercross live watch party. Anaheim 2, round 3. One of my guests just told me it's going to be a bit of a rain race, a little bit of a mutter. So you guys know how I feel about that one. But get into the guests. You guys already know how near and dear the TMA crew is to my heart. And if you've been around for the last couple of years, seen some of the vlogs, or just been anywhere near TCE, you recognize one of these guys. And of course, he's looking dapper in the FXR stuff. It's the one, it's the only, it's driver Jamie. What's up, dude?
What's up, brother? How are you? Hi, everybody.
I'm doing good. I'm pretty stoked for tonight. You and I kind of just talked a little bit about our affinity for Prado, and then Ethan chimed in, which brings me to our next other guest. Moto Academy is very deep with talent. You see Jamie, you know of Hannah, you know of Jackson. But one person you may not have seen is this man behind the camera. If you like any of the most recent content put out by the Moto Academy, it is likely that this man has something to do with it. It's New York's very own Ethan Quinto. What's up, dude?
What up? What up? Happy to be here. I think on YouTube me and Jamie might have to snuggle a little bit so we're in the middle of the frame. But
there we go.
Dude, happy to be here. Stoked. This is my first live stream outside of the app. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm stoked. It's be some good racing tonight.
It's gonna be epic. I'm super stoked, and I'm super stoked for our amazing partners that are making this possible. We got to give a huge shout out to FXR. Without those guys, we would not be here. Those guys have been phenomenal, and their latest gear, the Vapor setup, is out. You guys can go and cop that now. Don't forget, if you want to save some cash, use those links below. We want to help out our motocross family, all the people that help us and support us. We want to give back to you guys. So make sure you go and do that. Also, partzilla.com. If you're looking for OEM parts or accessories from any kind, go to partzilla.com. Tell them that the Collective Experience sent you. Phoenix handlebars, Flow Vision goggles, Creo P1 Designs, EVS Evans Power Coolant, the Moto Academy, and of course, Speed and Sport Adventure Tours. We're going to be doing a giveaway later on today. We'll do some TMA trivia, see if you guys are up to snuff on some of that stuff, and we'll be giving away some cool stuff. We're getting ready for Heat 1, Heat 1 gate
Here
drop. Jamie and Ethan, what has been one of the most exciting things that you've seen so far this season as we get ready for this 250 Heat 1?
The diversity, everybody winning, everybody fast, everybody Jet's not dominating. I love Jet and all, but it's just cool to see. It's cool to see Eli, Cole Davies. I love watching Cole Davies, and again, dude, he's just, and I like Cody Schock, to be honest, because I watched him grow up in my area, and of course I'm pulling for him too. But yeah, Cole Davies.
There he goes.
Look at that, unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's Cody Schock.
Cody Schock. Yeah. So is he Maryland? Is that where he's from?
He used to always train at Field of Dreams. I would see him.
Okay, yeah. That's a good try.
Yeah, he's a Jersey guy, yeah.
Shout out to our East Coast boys. All of us. This is a whole East Coast show. So like I said, Jamie's from New York. Driver Jamie's from PA. So you're West Coast guys, I apologize, but you're going to hear a lot of East Coast isms tonight, and we're going to sound like we're a little bit elitist. But yeah, I'm super stoked on Cody Schock. I think he's kind of slid under the radar the last couple of years, but that Muck Off FXR Club MX team bike is a very powerful bike. That bike has won outdoors over the years, by the way. So he's got they're up to snuff. He's got the motor, but something about his program changed. I think either he's riding with more confidence, or he picked up some sort of training technique just to get that extra little bit of speed. But the guy has been super solid, and I like Joe Shimoda too, because obviously last weekend was a little gnarly for him. But he's showing us more of that, I should be here championship prowess. Besides Cole Davies, who are some other guys that you like for for a win or for a podium that's coming up pretty soon? I know Schock is on the list, but who else besides those guys? Who's that?
Nate Adams.
Drew Adams.
Drew Adams.
Drew Adams. Oh, really? Really? You think so?
Drew Adams.
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude,
Futures, he dominated, and
eighth fastest qualifier today.
Yeah.
Was he really?
Yeah. In 250.
Above Deegan?
No, Deegan was top. He was up there, but yeah, Drew Adams was 8th place. I think he had a 1:10.5 or something like that.
He
had a pretty solid lap time.
That's actually that's insane to me. That's insane. Yeah, that whole deal
Davies just made the pass on Shimoda.
Yeah, Davies just got Shimoda.
Which is absolutely lethal. And we've talked about it. So if you guys have been on the stream, I apologize, but holy crap, like Davies is phenomenal. Like this guy led most of the main last weekend in only his second Supercross. He just passed the Anaheim 1 winner, and now he's creeping up on Shock, who is, you know, a tenured 250 star in this class. Where do you see the limits for Davies? Like, how soon before we see this guy get a win?
You want to go first?
I don't think it'll be much longer, to be honest with you. And I think he would have had a lot better chance last week. He kind of overjumped the finish line a little bit and went off track, and that's when Julian passed him. So I think, honestly, if little mistakes like that get cleaned up, like, we'll see one within the next few weekends, honestly. But what do you think?
I agree with that. But my biggest fear is you have Jet. You know, when Jet won, he just kept winning. You know what I mean? Like he had that determined, and Deegan's the same way. I don't want them to be like 1-year wonders. Like I don't want them to be like super fast and then get the contract and then be like, oh, okay, I'll just put, you know, I won't put the effort in. I mean, I want to see these guys like Cody Shock. I respect him because, okay, he got his contract, but now he's working harder than ever. He's going overseas. He's racing the other Supercrosses. I'm kind of impressed more, I think, with Cody Shock than I am with anybody else right now.
Gotcha. I kind of agree with that. But like Davies, man, like if he can keep his head on straight, if he's got a driver Jamie in his corner, if he can keep his head on straight, then I think we could be seeing like the next like Jet or even better, dude. I mean, think about who he has in his corner. He's got Ben Townley in his ear, you know, and those dudes down there in New Zealand, they're not soft. Those dudes are gnarly. So I'm really excited to see how far this goes. Let's compare and contrast him to Adams. So Drew's been at the top of the sport when amateur wise for quite a while. Made a big splash when he hopped on big bikes. Dude had almost instant success. And he's kind of, you know, had a few good showings in his pro debut. I'll say that for outdoors. How would you compare him to a Davies who was like, yeah, this is like my first season. Haven't really touched the pro tracks other than like the, you know, the future to the all-star races, whatever. How would you compare and contrast those guys?
I actually think that they're going to be, if they both stay the way they are, training hard, I think you're going to see almost like a replay of the 1980s, like with Rick Johnson, Johnny O'Mara, David Bailey, like Jean-Michel Bale. I think you're going to have a group of people that are like unbelievably taking turns winning, you know, and I actually think if they all continue, I mean, because you have Deegan 19 years old and Drew's 16 years old, the other two in the middle, you're going to have Supercross is headed for the moon because you're going to have people racing every weekend for a win. And it's not going to be, I mean, we all love to see like the MC domination and the Jet domination, but it's also cool to see racing every weekend. And I think that's what you're going to see with these guys. I think they're just going to be, man, I'm excited for the future with these 250s. It's the first group of 250 riders that have like really excited me like this in a long time. That it's not just 1 and 3 good ones. It's 4 good ones.
Yeah.
I like that. Like what you just said, like the we haven't seen this like a new class emerge in 250s that are going to be that badass in a long time. And Jamie, you probably remember this. Ethan, you might as well. I liken this to when PC was dominating like 07, 08 with like they had Villapoto already kicking ass. Stroop was coming up. Townley, Weimer, like all these guys were like they just ushered in this next wave of badass dudes. It's like after the Tedesco moved up, after Stu, after you know all that stuff, and the young guns just come out swinging. This reminds me of that kind of era. Obviously, it's blue bikes dominating, not green ones, but still kind of like the same camp in that regard. But dude, look at Cody Shock is looking like such a badass. Not enough people talk about how he elevated his game over the last couple of years.
He's one of those guys that, hey, you gave him a shot, and guess what? He's taking it. There's a lot of guys that get their shot, and it's like, oh, thank you, and they think they made. It's like the whole mindset. You know, do you want to be a pro rider or do you want to be the best pro rider? You know,
for sure, for sure. And I like his bike setup. He just looks like he gels so well with the bike. Jamie, you've tuned bike to the highest level. What does it take to get your bike right like this? I mean, a bunch of us mere mortals, we struggle with bike setup, feeling comfortable and confident on the bike. I'm sure everyone in the chat, we want to ride like these guys. Like, what does it take to set up a pro bike to be able to handle stuff like this?
Well, the funny thing about a pro bike, every one of them is extremely different. So if you take AJ's, his is basically stock with just his suspension setting that he likes. But I've seen guys that have bikes that are so stiff you would think they were Harley Davidson hardtails. Like there's no movement in them at all. Yeah. And then, like if you look at the way Damon Bradshaw used to set up his bike, no human being can ride it. Like it was just like the pro riders. I don't think there's any two bikes set up the same. Like even if you take Joe Shimoda's, when last year they set it up the way Jet and Hunter had it set up, and he couldn't ride it. Now it's set up for him, and now he can ride it. It's like the pro bikes, they are so unique in how they feel, and the stuff that they can feel on a bike. Like for an example, AJ, he'll come off the track and tell me, I think there's a spoke loose in the front. Like I mean, when they can feel that much, return on the bike, like they are in one with the bike. So setting up a bike for a pro is not always that easy because like the testing that goes involved with it is, to make them happy. I tease AJ a lot. I said, yeah, he's a prima donna, but he's not. He likes to have his bike set up the way it is. And when it is set up, he can ride it unbelievably.
Got 100%. Like, there's one thing that I always like. Chad Reed's a legend, right? But the way that guy can feel out a motorcycle, absolutely insane. Like it's one thing to be fast, but to be able to feel the bike the way that he does and be able to explain it, I've always been a huge fan of that. Like, I love me some bike design and stuff, and that stuff it's such like splitting hairs of hairs of hairs, and they can feel all of that. Like it's crazy. That's a really good point, Jamie. I'm sure there's a lot of riders that feel that stuff. Are they able to articulate it to guys like yourself who, make magic? Not all the time. I'm sure it's frustrating, but like somebody like a Chad Reed that can say like, hey, I feel like I lost a quarter PSI in the front end, or this or that, or hey, yeah, like you said, this spoke is loose. Insane to me that they can have that sort of like fine feel of the bike. Insane stuff.
The hardest part is when they're saying like, "Oh, I want it stiffer," when actually they don't want it stiffer. They want more rebound. Like that. Yes. That's what they don't understand is like some of the pros, all they do is ride because mom and dad took care of the bike. They hired a mechanic. Everything went along the way. When they get to the level, it's like I need it stiffer. Well, they actually don't. They don't want it stiffer. They just want more rebound or less rebound or more compression or less compression. Like. It's not always stiffer what they're looking for or softer. It's actually a different reaction to the suspension that they're looking for.
Gotcha. That makes sense. And if you guys and gals want to experience that firsthand and see exactly what Jamie's talking about when they do their bike redos, updates, and tweaks, head to thecollectivexp.com where you guys can go behind the scenes like never before and experience this stuff firsthand. Whether you want to be an absolute VIP and get treated like gold, hang around the rigs, hang around the pits, get all access passes, sit with the teams, tune on the radios, eat some food, all that good stuff. Or if you want to be a mechanic someday, just like our very own driver, Jamie, maybe a badass videographer like EQ over here, head to thecollectivexp.com. We've got programs set up for all of you guys, whether it's videography, mechanic support, team management, content creation, and more. We've got over 80% of our past interns involved in the sport on a full-time gig status, working for people like Bubba's World Podcast, Feld, PR Mex, Kawasaki, and so much more. It's been incredible. And it's all thanks to great people like TMA and our amazing sponsors to make it possible. So guys, if you're looking just to get some dang deals on some gear, get some cool insider access at the races, even if you just want to hang around and not really spin a wrench or anything, talk to us. We can get you set up and make sure that you guys are living it up like true VIPs at a race of your choice. Over 80%, again, of our interns go on to do incredible things in the industry. 70% of our proceeds that we raise go directly to the mechanics, the riders, and teams who make this team possible. We thank them so much for it. And guys, don't forget, save all of that money. Head to thecollectivexp.com, use our promo codes, and support those who support the sport. Your boy nabbed a heat race win. Jamie, I think you too, Ethan. I know you've been at the level for a little bit. You guys know what confidence does for riders. at the amateur level, when you guys are at the TMA classes and you're talking to all these kids that are like, hey, I just did this double for the first time, or hey, I talked to Coach Mitchell, Coach H, and they got me over this whoop section, or whatever it is. How does that confidence and momentum affect pro riders? Do they kind of does it bubble them up and get them like, all excited like it does us mere mortals?
I think it magnifies it. It for us mere mortals, like when we do a double jump, it's like, all right, I can do that every time now. I feel good. They've done that a million times, but when a pro wins, they retrain their brain. Now all of a sudden, okay, because they won in the amateurs, they won when they got their first, A license, and then they get to the pro level and they're not winning. Then all of a sudden they win, and then they remember what it was like to win all those times. Because most of these guys, they go to their local track. They're dominating. They're beating everybody by right. So now you bring them to the pro level and you put them all together. It's just like a bunch of Navy SEALs. Which one's the toughest? Well, they're all Navy SEALs. Who knows? Now when one of these guys win, now they go from a Navy SEAL to the Delta Force or SEAL Team 6. Now it's like, okay, I am the best. And I think the confidence when they win one. I think when Shock went overseas and won some of those motos over there, he's gonna you win one. Then the floodgates open.
100%. That couldn't have said it better myself. I hope that confidence blesses me this year because Jamie, I need a bunch of that. Before I even attempt to put myself on camera with EQ, I need to get some of that driver Jamie confidence. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got the whole crew here. We got Max himself, the Gray Rabbit. We got the real GP, the absolute legend. Shout out to all the TMA crew. We got our Vens in here, of course. Mike McSwain, Ben Weigel. Shout out to the boys. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Ask those questions. Chat with us. Say some crazy things so that we can laugh because that's what this is all about. And sorry, guys, I know it's a couple minutes late. I apologize. So first gate drop. I really have been like not trying to say this out loud to a lot of people and stuff like that. I don't want to hop on any bandwagons. That's the reason why. But holy crap, I have been so impressed with Julian Beaumer. I don't want to seem like I'm like a fair weather fan and like whoever is like the latest hot shot, that's what I'm hopping on. But man, not only just the way that he's riding, which has been badass, but the level of confidence that he's exuded on the podium and his riding through the pits, like all those little like those cool interviews. This dude looks like he is Chase Sexton getting ready for his, fourth title. He has that kind of confidence. Is there something about this kid that you guys just think is head and shoulders above the rest when it comes to how he's handling what he's doing this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think just the fact that he's 18 years old and he looks like you're saying like a Chase Sexton, I think that's like uberly impressive. I mean, I'm 22 going on 23. I could not imagine like racing professionally, let alone doing it and winning, right? Like, yeah, it's unreal. Absolutely unreal. I mean, and kind of out of nowhere too, right? Because like I feel like leading into A1, nobody really kind of expected it. And he must have just put the work in the off season because it is definitely translating in these first two rounds. And obviously he too just started and he pulls the whole shot and he's gone, right? So yeah, I think this kid is going to be great to come for years,
I agree, Dave. Sure. What else I think about it is you have to remember this kid's not just coming from, playing wiffle ball or softball. He was a world champ jet skier. If you have that pro mentality, and again, I believe it's all confidence. Once you remember what it's like to win, you forget what it's like to lose, and then you don't lose no more.
For sure, and that's a really good point you brought up. That he's used to being a badass in a different discipline, but still motorsport. Jamie, could you imagine if you were 22 years old or even as young as Beaumer and you were just a hot shot badass supercross racer, dude? Like how you would tear up the town.
I wouldn't. I don't think
really?
I would. I really don't. No, because like when I was that young, I was still into stick and ball sports. I played college football and
yeah.
I stayed in the gym. Like I didn't party. I wasn't that kind of guy. I just wanted to be great at something. I was always. My father always gave me a piece of advice. Whatever you do, you just make sure you eat it, you drink it, and you sleep it, and you'll be good at it. And I just kind of took that with me to whatever I did.
I think I agree. I was never a partier, never a drinker, didn't do anything crazy. I did like my speed, so you could catch me going really fast on the highway.
Oh yeah.
but other than that, dude, honestly, I think that my biggest vice would be like, David, you cannot afford Nobu again. Like, you cannot eat out sushi one more time.
Yeah.
You're going to lose all of your millions of dollars. That would be my biggest thing. Or like, hey, you cannot buy 2 tons of trail mix. Like, that's not feasible. We don't, like and I'm pretty frugal. I've always been frugal. I wouldn't go buy Lambos and stuff like that. But like the things that I do like, Jamie, no, you know what I would do, Jamie? I would have 20 2-strokes in the garage. I'd have a bunch of 05 KXs, a bunch of like the old CR60s, and dude, I'd have a workshop and a half.
Yeah,
Dave, I got to tell you, I delivered the van for its last ride.
Please, Jamie, tell us. Yeah, go in. This is insane. I want to hear. Yeah, please.
I could not believe. So, like, they call me and they say, "Hey, we're gonna fly you home. How much do you weigh?" I'm like, "I'm not a horse. I'm not that much to be on a plane." I'm thinking, why are we getting so in depth? Am I going in a crop duster? Next thing you know, I'm flying in a P-51 Mustang. Oh, Boomer went down.
Deegan
took him out. He took him out.
Oh, Deegan, did he mess up too? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we are graced by some excellence here. I don't know if you guys are in the TMA app at all, but this person's super, super famous. Shout out to the one and only famous Caitlin Vitucci joining us. Caitlin, how are you?
The best seat bouncer in the world.
It's been a day.
The seat bounce champion.
Dude, did you guys just see that?
Did you watch it? That was unbelievable.
Yeah. So why did he take out Bolmer there?
I like Deegan. I do. It wasn't a bad one. It was just a break check.
Yeah.
But I don't like that kind of riding.
Same.
What just happened? I missed it.
Yeah,
they're doing a replay on it.
Yeah, Caitlin, are you sure you're on A2, not A1?
You guys are like in different time zones.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, right. Yeah, everyone's in different time zones over here, but no, that's insane. Like, I know he likes to play the head games, and he even mentioned that on the Pulp show, Bolmer did, about like having to handle Deegan's like the mind games and how he likes to get in his competitors' heads and stuff. This is gonna light a fire under Juju, man, because it doesn't seem like he gets bothered by that stuff. But when you start like tapping the dude and like that gets, that can start stirring things up. What do you guys think in the chat? Was that dirty? Was that a little bit too much? And if Deegan was playing mind games with you, like, what's the best course of action when it comes to like handling something like that? So let me know what you guys think in the chat.
I just think I don't think it was necessary.
Yeah,
same.
That was definitely some sort of mind games. He wasn't like.
You look at it this way: if you have to do that to win, that's one way. But look at Jet. He didn't have to do that. He just beat you.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'd rather be the guy that just beat you than be the guy that had to trick you to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, for sure. Like, that's always been like my biggest thing at the races, obviously at much different level than this. But like when you are actually like on the gate, dude, I was so friendly. I'm like, hey man, good race. Hope you guys do good. How's the mom doing? How's the family? Hope you guys got a new puppy. I was always super overly. Yeah, don't take me out. I was always like super. I was the opposite of Caitlin. I'll say that because Caitlin walks in there, just mean mugs, kicks people's bikes over, lights some stuff on fire, and I was a little bit.
Dave, I did ride with her. She does have a bit of attitude. I could definitely see.
Yeah, I know she does, dude. She's gonna pretend on here like, oh my god, I would never. Oh my goodness. But like, I know she's got the mean streak in her.
I want to know from Jamie. So did you see the RBF like at Switchback? Like, was it that bad?
No, I actually didn't see it.
I don't know, Dave. Oh no, it's pretty bad.
If you say so. If you say so.
It was something else. I didn't know what I was talking about, so I did not know what that was. I'm old, Caitlin. I'm old. Did I see the RBF? No. What did I see? I saw when I was talking to you the look of shut up. You want to be like, stop talking. I'm doing it. I got you. No, I'm just kidding. Kayla was nothing but an angel. She was an angel. She was fantastic to deal with.
Shout out to
I
TMA
felt
crew.
bad because he asked me like or he told me how to do this seat bounce like probably 50 times. And it took me until probably like the 50th time to like actually execute it the correct way.
No, she did it perfect. She was just she just had happy pants, and then once she figured out she didn't have to have happy pants, she did it perfect, and she was doing it no problem.
So Jamie, let me ask you this: when it comes to like instructing kids and getting them to like overcome something, like for me, I can't tell you how afraid I was to seat bounce the first time. I remember I was in 250B on a Yamaha, and I just refused to do it because I was afraid of the endo over like everybody else. Like, how do you get? Geez, Deegan's looking ripped. How do you guys like overcome that, like that fear for a lot of your riders, a lot of people in the classes? Like, how do you get them over that, like that nervousness?
Well, if you show, like, the best thing, especially when you have AJ there, you know, AJ and Mitchell and Grant, like, you have a pro showing them how to do it. And then one of the best things I learned, because I've taken many private lessons from AJ, was that he will show you the worst spot to land in, the worst way to land, and then show you how to ride it out if you do it the right way. So when you see that, it's like, oh, okay, that's not so bad. That builds your confidence up. And then if you just do things slow, like when I made Caitlin do it in first gear out of a turno, I think you had like a 15-foot run, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
That way, then there was no fear. Like it was just a 15-foot run onto a tabletop, and once you realize that if you're centered and the bike bounces up, it just pops right up. It's easy to be perfect.
I think AJ's got a pretty good way of going about fears and building confidence on the track too, where, you know, if he's working with somebody in a section and they're afraid, he'll just ask them questions to kind of break down to the root of what the actual problem is. And I think that's something that everybody can do kind of on their own, right? You know, if it's hitting a double or seat bouncing or whatever, right? It's like, all right, why am I afraid? What's going to happen if that happens? You know what I mean? Just breaking it down. Like that's a big way that I've seen firsthand him help people, you know, overcome these kinds of things. So just to add to that conversation.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it's such an invaluable resource to have TMA coaches, the TMA app, all of you guys on staff that are like really helping people get to the next level. Because not only does it make us safer, but that confidence allows you to have so much more fun on your motorcycle. And it's not a lot of us that, you know, grew up racing, didn't have coaching, stuff like that. You feel like you're bashing your head against the wall sometimes. Like you're not enjoying the riding as much because now it becomes like a day job. It's not as much. You're not getting as much gratification out of riding because you're fighting the bike. You're trying to get better, but you don't really know how. So having that resource and what you guys do is huge. Ethan, you've been able to like film AJ like a lot in like his, you know, obviously pro technique. Do you feel like a little bit of that is rubbing off on you? Like the more you edit video, the more you film, you're just like gonna get faster by proxy. Do you feel like that's how it's gonna go?
Yeah, no, I think it's because I'm going down to North Carolina to ride in a couple of weeks here. If I don't get on and I'm not like already 5 seconds faster a lap, I think I'm not paying attention enough. Yeah, I mean I'm in it every day, you know, watching different discipline, like working with different disciplines of riding and stuff. So I think like it's just downloaded. So when I get on the bike, it's just like inevitable that I improve, you know, and obviously like being part of the team too, I can kind of just reach out at any time. But yeah, I think with now riding in 6 months and a few weeks getting on the bike, I will definitely be a lot better than where I left off for sure.
So that's the next thing I want to talk about. My own.
Wait, before Dave, I gotta ask you something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can't believe you didn't bring this up like the first topic. Kawasaki's making a two-stroke.
I was gonna save that for a little bit, but yes, okay. Is it real? Okay, everyone, I'm sorry I got so excited. My favorite bike of all time is the KX 125 2005. Shut up, Caitlin. I know it's not a gas or KTM. That's my favorite bike of all time. I was so bummed to see it go. I grew up racing Cowie two-stroke since minis. Loved the lineup. I thought it was great. Is it real? Like, is it?
Yeah.
Is it gonna happen? I heard RN.
It was on Race Day Live with McGrath.
Yep.
What'd they say?
They said Kawasaki is now getting back into two-stroke racing. All I can tell you is there's a full-size bike coming next.
Yeah.
Is
when
it
did
going
they
to be
decide
250
that?
or 125?
They just said full size.
Just full size. So I'm gonna guess. My guess is going to be the 125 because that's like the class that you still have a lot of racers in. You know what I mean, for Loretta's and stuff. So my guess is going to be the 125.
Yeah. without a doubt. I mean,
which
honestly,
I hope, because I'm buying one.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did
Same.
125 and 250 though.
You know what will be crazy? You know that KTM 300 had a lot of people excited, and they sold a lot of those bikes. Do you think they're going to enter the 300 class?
I wouldn't be surprised. I have a KTM 300 XCW, and it is by far one of the most fun bikes I've ever rode in my life.
You're like the 100th person I've heard say that, Ethan.
Yeah, they're sick. I mean, the first time I rode, I was telling Jamie the story earlier, actually. I was about like 15. I'd never rode it before. We're getting ready for a race the next day. My dad looks at me and goes, Ethan, if you can kick it first try, you can race it tomorrow. And sure enough, I kicked it over first try, ripped it around the yard a little bit, showed up and raced the next day. And it was by far the coolest experience I've ever had. Like, I was not big enough to be on that bike at all, but we went out there and, gave it hell. And I finished pretty well that day riding that thing. So a lot of love for that.
That's awesome. Caitlin, what's it going to take for you to hop on a green 2-stroke? What are we going to have to do?
I don't know.
You just need to get you
so
a gear.
What?
Is that a green gear with a TMA logo on it?
Yes.
Honestly, that might be all it takes.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
You're hard to please.
No, I tried out Jamie's bike at Switchback, obviously on a 2-stroke. It's not 2-stroke, but it made me think about it. I might have to go green.
What'd you like about it the most, Caitlin?
It was just smooth. Super smooth compared to like my gas. I mean, it's the first 4-stroke I've ever bought, but it was just like the throttle response, the engine braking is so aggressive on that bike. So I mean, the difference, and I don't know if it could be just because it's a bigger bore bike that the Cowie felt smoother, but I really liked it.
How about that suspension?
Interesting.
That suspension, yeah. It was a big difference between that and my bike.
So yeah,
I mean, you were there, Jamie. I rode it around a good bit.
Yeah, I said. She goes, I'm only going to take it for one lap because I'm scared. I said, go ahead. Like 30 minutes later, she's still doing laps. I got to put gas in it. She just kept riding laps. I'm like, go ahead, have a blast.
That's hilarious. I like that. So Jamie, like, I've been talking to Caitlin about this a little bit. Like, obviously, she has more of a off-road setup on her bike, off-road background. For the boys and girls who are not in TMA, Caitlin's famous. She won't admit it, but she's famous. What does it take to be able to transform like Caitlin's riding style, Caitlin's bike, and her suspension setup into something that's going to be effective and make her feel comfortable in moto track? Like, what are some things that you would implement to do that?
Well, the first thing, we would make sure the sag's right, make sure we have the right springs on there for, I like when you say stiffen it up, you really can't stiff. All you're doing is changing how fast the fluid goes through the shims. We would change the shims. I would change the shims I'd make it a little bit more stiffer, with the shims, but not real stiff. Like I always thought of it as like there's 3 sections. There's the first section you want to feel like a Cadillac. The second section you want to feel pretty much like a Mustang. And then the third section you want to feel like a Formula 1 car that won't bottom out. And if you can make that suspension feel like that, you're going to feel really good riding on a track. And first of all, she has great riding style. She would have no problem on a big track. I mean, I only saw her at Switchback, but I can only imagine how good she would be on an outdoor track.
Okay, so I'm hearing Winchester 2025. Is that what I'm hearing, Caitlin? That you got to show up for that now? Because driver Jamie just said you're good to go. So
I'm gonna be there one way or another. I don't know how, but I'm gonna be there.
Gotcha. Ethan, when it comes to the TMA camp at Winchester Speed Park this year, what is one thing that you're super stoked about?
Well, I think I love to shoot, right? So 5 days of just being able to have the camera out and record, like that's going to be probably the biggest thing for me, just being immersed in that environment. But also, like, it's not too far from my house too, so like I can also bring my bike. So like I could see an opportunity for best of both worlds. I get to work a little bit, shoot a little bit, and even probably get some seat time. So it's gonna be a trifecta. I'm stoked.
I'm pumped for it. I gotta.
Are you gonna be there, Dave?
Yeah, I'll be there. I don't know what the heck I'm going to do for a bike. I got to figure something out, especially if we're always going to be bouncing back and forth. Yeah, I know that. I definitely will. But like if we're gonna continuously be bouncing back and forth, doing like the whole East Coast swing and stuff, I'm almost like, man, is it worth like buying like a blown up YZ250 or something, and then just having like doing a rebuild and like keeping it out there at my parents' place just in case, or like cheap little fix up, or like, hey, should I go and finance a new 450?
Should you go get the new KX 125 two-stroke or KX 250 two-stroke?
Yeah, right.
That would be
bring back the glory days.
Oh man, I used to love racing that bike. AJ will never admit it, but the KX 250F, that first year that they did like redid everything, that was I gave AJ some heartburn for a couple practice sessions, a couple motos. He won't admit it ever, but I kept him busy. I didn't win, but I kept him busy, So that's all you can hope for. Shout out to everybody in the stream. Let's see. We're gonna talk to some of the boys. We got Greg Dewick in here. What's going on? Our Vens, always engaging, dude. I appreciate that. And of course, we popped Caitlin on. Everyone's saying Caitlin, so told you you're famous.
I can't see the chat. I'm trying to get on there now to look.
Mike McSwain said AJ might might lend you the KDX for a moto. I don't know, Mike.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
Tough sell. Oh man, that's gonna be so crazy.
Into that thing.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be crazy. Our Vans is saying the Cowie launch is gonna be sick, and they're gonna have Stewart do the intro, JS259. Man, they're gonna have to pay him some big money.
Hold it, Arvenz. He's not allowed. Arvenz is a traitor. He went to the blue team. He's
yeah.
Team green anymore. Sorry, White Boots. Sorry.
Shout out the White Boot Club. Let's see. We got 2 to go on this 450 heat number 1. Obviously, Tomac's out there doing his thing. Webb surprised me with that podium he had. That was really cool. A little sneaky. We didn't see him make a lot of noise with that one, but very cool. That we've got, again, like you said, Jamie, like parity, tons of parity inside this class. Yeah. Webb could get a win. JA could get a win. We saw Tomac win. We saw Sexton win. Like we could, obviously Jet's gonna get a win at some point. Roxon, like it could be any one of these guys. And the fact that like those Webbs of the sport are still like kicking ass and doing good, like that really, man, we really are treated to such a good racing series this year as fans.
It's crazy. This is the best it's ever been.
It really, for me, really has.
And I grew up, I'm a little bit older, so like I grew up in the, watching the 80s. Like I, all the way back from Bob Hanna and, up to Ricky Johnson and those guys. And
yeah,
I thought that was the best time. And then there was a lull because there was always a dominant rider. No one's going to dominate this year. This is going to be awesome.
I will say Tomac's got a 9-second lead in the heat, though. He is beast mode right now.
He's okay. So, Caitlin, I want to ask you this first. I know like our TMA crew, everyone's got really good eye for this stuff, and then I'll kick it over to you, Jamie and Ethan. Caitlin, what do you see that Tomac does better than the rest of the 450 pack when he rides? Like, what is the thing that makes this guy so freaking lethal?
I would say like his endurance. Like he just
okay.
Like he just doesn't let up. Like he doesn't give up.
No, 100%. Like the guy's like race prowess, just it doesn't fade. You don't ever see him like, shoulder slumped, he's getting tired.
Right.
His racecraft stays intact the entire time. That's something that a lot of, obviously at this level it's different, but as you progress in the sport, you start noticing that. When I went from like, I think I bumped up to like C class because I was young in the big bikes or something. Going from C to B and just seeing like, like these guys don't take breaks. Like there's not like all right, 1 to go kind of, like they were charging the whole time. Going to A class is like, that's even harder. But then these guys actually like will punt you off the track like you're, like you took their girlfriend. Like that was I can't remember that one, but no, you're 100%. Like he does not fade. And saying that he stands out for just his endurance in this class, in this day and age, is a true testament to how much of a badass he is. Ethan and Jamie, I'll kick it over to you. Like, what is it that this dude has? Like a 9-second lead?
And
come on.
Here's what I think about Eli. He has a style you can't teach. He's like a Barsha, but different. He's like, to me, he reminds me of Bob Hanna. He is just, you can't teach. Like everybody else you talk to in the pros, they detune their 450. Eli's 450 is not fast enough, and it's a Yamaha. Like who on their right mind says my 450 Yamaha is not fast enough? You know, it's like for that kind of riding. Like I mean, he's next level. He's ridiculously. You can't teach that riding style.
It's like the way he like strategically paces himself throughout the race, and then like toward the end he just has this like supernatural ability to just like hammer the throttle and go like full beast mode.
Yeah, I don't
100%.
if I could just harness like 10% of what this guy has.
Yeah, 10%.
Like,
I need like 1%.
Dude, like could you imagine, Ethan, like just 10% of that corner speed? It would change my life.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd walk around like Mr. Big Britches, you know? Like, come on, dude. Oh my gosh, I would. Oh man, that would be so badass.
If somebody ever tells his motorcycle that it can't stick like it does, that'll be the end of him. Like that, science tells you his bike can't do what it does on those turns.
Yeah. So what is that, Jamie? Because I've asked AJ this too. Like, how does he hustle around corners so fast? And he's a guy that steers with the rear. How does he get traction? Like I know AJ said, oh, well, he's breaking traction to be able to swing the back end around. I get that. But at some point you got to hook back up. How does he do that? Not only going that fast, but on that much power on that type of dirt. How does he do that?
Well, one of the things Ethan said, and it reminds me of this question, is his sag's way different than everybody else's. What did you say? It was like
85.
He runs like 85 sag.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah.
Oh, that's
like,
low.
Remember how we're talking about, like, you know, how you set up for a pro rider?
Yeah.
He's, you know, ET. He is ET. You know, like he is the extraterrestrial, because, like, I have no idea how he rides the bike the way he does. But, you know, like I said, you can't teach that. You know, that bike just will slide and hook up in a heartbeat.
Dude, I don't, Jamie. I wish I could. I wish I could do that so bad. Shout out Bunny Man in the chat. My boy's back. Shout out T Anthony. Oh, and of course, Bunny Man clocked Caitlin right away. Bunny Man, come on. Dude, if I could be half as famous as Caitlin, dude, my life would be cherry, man. My life would be cherry.
Yeah, she is like, you know, I felt honored to stand in the same building with her. I mean, you know,
yeah.
Sure.
Did she come out on like a elephant being carried by like a harem of like?
There was people with feathers. They were throwing feathers as she was walking in the thing, you know. And she you know, there was this guy with her feeding her grapes as she walked through, you know.
Oh, dude! If I ever become rich and famous, I won't tell anybody, but there will be signs. Hey, who's that really ripped oil dude feeding Dave grapes?
I got to give a shout out. I don't know if you guys, I mean, now, Caitlin's a very pretty girl, but if you would see her 2 daughters, oh my God, I saw some posts of her. The rest of the world's in trouble. So however old they are, just, you know, find your, like, how old are they, Caitlin?
4 and 2.
Okay, any boys that are 5 and 3, stay away, okay? They will ruin your life, okay? Run. They're gorgeous, and they will ruin you.
Jamie, I could have used you when I was a kid, man. If you could have just helped me just navigate that whole world.
Dave, I tried to help my son. It didn't work. He didn't listen to me.
You know, yeah, we're stubborn. We're stubborn like that.
It's horrible. We go out and we get 7th at the Daytona 250B, and then the next week we get a girlfriend and stop riding. I was ready to kill him.
Oh, Mike, dude, my dad would. Yeah, that's. Man, yeah, that. Oh, geez, I can't even tell you. I think I got my first girlfriend, and my dad was like, "If you drop pace by a quarter second, it's built to ass." He's like, dude, you better pray she makes you faster, dude. I remember.
Let it behind you,
dude. He's like, boobs better drop your lap time. I'll never forget, man. Oh, it was so funny. Shout out Daniel Youngblood in the chat. We got the whole TMA crew, man. I love
Holy
this.
cow,
I love
yeah.
seeing
Hey,
everybody
Daniel.
transfer over. Don't forget, guys, once we wrap, which we usually wrap around the LCQs, make sure you guys head over to the Moto Academy app where our Vince, shout out White Boot Club, is going to be streaming on there. We can chat, we can do all the cool bench racing stuff like that. We're just going to be doing it over into the app. And if you don't have the app already, what are you doing? Make sure you guys sign up for the Moto Academy app. It's
God, I hope that wasn't Roxon.
No, he's right. He's third. He's
okay.
Man, these guys are absolute. Look at the way they freaking 3 out of that corner, that like right by like that big pillar.
Yeah.
That's just insane to me that they're doing that.
Yeah, over the table.
Yes.
Nuts.
It's crazy.
Hey, Dave, let me ask you. Do you think there's extra pressure on Jason Anderson now that Prado's there?
I do. I don't think he necessarily will let it get to him. But if he says it's non-existent, I think that's a lie. I think
I do too.
JA hasn't really had. He's had some wins, and he looks great on that Cowie. He's still in conversation, like as somebody that can win. He's still one of the top guys, but I don't think he's performed as well as Cowie would have expected him to, especially after winning a Supercross 450 title. I think so. He's not going to let on to it or not going to let it bother him, but to say it's not there, he's feeling it, especially if his contract's nearing,
I don't know. I disagree. I think.
Oh, okay. Well, what makes you say
I think
that?
Jason's been. Obviously, I agree with the fact that he's not been as impressive as we would have imagined, but
yeah,
I mean, not right now. Maybe not this season. Maybe next season. Maybe the season after. I guess Nationals will play a big part in that too, seeing Prado out there. But I think as of right now, I don't think he's feeling much pressure at all with him just being so fresh to the sport. Finishing, past the top 10. Like, I think right now he's not feeling it at all, personally. But
gotcha.
That might be wrong.
Man, I don't know. I would love to see him like nab a win. Like I'm a JA fan. I love the fact that he's trying. Like he brings a new presence. Like I know a lot of people say like, oh well, he's not training with a top trainer, blah blah blah. But the dude still is badass. He still puts the work in. He still goes fast. But I like his riding style. I like the way he wants to bring moto more mainstream with like streetwear stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if you ever watch this guy through a flat corner, oh my gosh, I think he can corner flat corners better than anybody in this class. I'll say over Tomac and all those guys. That guy, New Mexico's own, like he knows how to ride a hard pack slick track. So I think that's absolutely phenomenal, and I love watching this guy hustle around the track. Again, shout out to everybody in the chat. Everybody's on. Oh, look at Caitlin's even in the chat. Okay, I see that. Okay, she got her and Bunny Man are going back and forth, so I don't want to interrupt Caitlin. So I won't ask you any questions. I'll let you do what you got to do. Hashtag Sugar Daddy. We got Chet Lawrence in second, kind of following behind Jason Anderson. Now we've seen a little bit of tumultuous back and forth with these two guys. Like if it comes down to like they're starting to run into their high end corners or blah blah blah, who do you think comes out on top of that one if they get into like a little on bike scuffle?
That's a good question. To be honest with you, I don't think I see Jet doing that. I think I could see Jason Anderson running him high into a corner and over the berm, honestly. But I don't see Jet being that kind of guy.
I agree with Ethan. I see Jason along the lines of a Deegan, which is nothing wrong with that. But when I see Jet, from everything we watched the last couple of years, he didn't play the game. He didn't stuff you. He blew by you. And I think that's, like when you want to make a statement, like instead of hitting somebody, look at that. He just cut right underneath him. But instead of hitting somebody, I'll just blow by you and make you look bad. And I think that's even more badass than stuffing somebody. Anybody can stuff anybody. But when you're that good that you just blow by somebody, then you're much more badass, in my opinion. Anyway.
No, I agree with that.
Caitlin, if you're trying to set up a pass, what is the best approach that you would take to doing something like that? Would you run them high in a berm? Would you take them out? Would you cut them under? Like what would be your preferred method if you were trying to hurt some feelings a little bit? Maybe not be a jerk, but maybe let them know like, hey, I'm a badass.
I don't know. I would probably try to go as close inside to the corner as I could.
and just cut them off.
I think she would just write him a note and say, "You know who the hell I am."
I would probably try to fit through any gap that they were trying. Like, I don't know. I would try to get through.
I think they can just sense your aura coming and they just let you go. I don't even think you have to make the pass. They just know it's gonna happen.
You know what's funny, Ethan?
I talked about that. For that girl. I'm gonna let her go.
Yeah.
I talked about that with AJ on the Sunday pod. Dude, like, there's been some races where I'm like, I do not want to be here, and you can feel the fast guy in the classes behind you, and I'm like, dude, just go. I can just feel your presence. Yeah. Just go around me, dude. I'll pull over. Just, I don't want the smoke. Like,
100%.
I've been there before, man. Yeah, I don't want to deal with that. These guys are, man. Sexton's creeping up now too. Getting everybody nervous.
Too.
Wow.
I will say, from my little racing experience over the years, I was always the type of guy to just find where I can make that pass. So a lot of my local guys are very one-minded, so it's difficult enough to make a pass. But from one of my last races this year, I got a pretty good jump off the gate. I was about 7th. Right off rip, I made like 4 passes in the first turn, just C-class, typical stuff, whatever. So, I'm top 3, battling. And the guy in front of me, I saw one spot on the track specific where he was going a little bit outside, and I knew if I went fast enough, I could just clean pass right up the inside. And sure enough, 2 laps left to go. I just made that pass, and I was out to the races after that. So I ended up getting second that race, which was pretty cool. But yeah, I think just being able to analyze where people make mistakes on the track, that's probably, in my opinion, the best way to go about it. Especially on the local level, like, there's no point in running somebody high in a corner or, making contact. Like, you're not winning anything at the end of the year. So, that would be my opinion, or my recommendation. But
I would agree with that. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been one to be controversial on the bike, but it's just curious at this level when you've got millions of dollars on the line, you've got bragging rights. I'm just like, man, that's a lot, riding on that stuff. So. Could be crazy. Dude, we got Cade Clayson in a transfer spot. Looking nice easy ahead of Nichols with the TMA graphicked up helmet. Shout out to the TMA boys. For somebody like a Cade Clayson, being able to transfer out of a heat like this, what does that mean, Jamie? Like, when it comes to not only what the mechanics have to do, but for like the rider as well.
Oh, for the mechanics, it's a vacation. I love winning, AJ. I love transferring, but when we would get it like right away, I'd be like the happiest guy in the world. Everybody can settle down. But for the rider itself, they get so much more time to recover, chill out, let the heart rate come down, get something to eat, and and for Cade, I love Cade. Cade's one of the nicest guys I've ever met. He's just a great guy, great dude.
Yes.
He did a nice post in the app today for us too, like about with the rain and stuff. So I'm super stoked. I hope he made it. I didn't see the top 9 there, but I hope he made it in.
Sam, Cade's really great to be around. You know what's crazy too is like he's pretty good when it comes to explaining on bike technique to for classes. Like I did not expect that out of him. I thought for sure he'd be a bit more I just third and I just figure it out. But like he's really good at explaining and breaking things down, which again, not many pros are able to do. And what not a lot of amateur guys are able to do, especially with bike prices, is get a new bike. But Mr. Ethan, you have beat the odds and you got yourself a brand new Honda 250 CRF. Dude, talk about that bike. And I know you got driver Jamie blessing it, the suspension guru himself. Once I find that out from you, Jamie, what are some tips and tricks you have for us to like get our bikes that we just got, whether it's new to us or new off the dealer showroom floor, that we can do to make them either last longer or better for the riding season?
We just did some videos.
You want to put me to the test, see if I remember?
Go ahead.
All right, so this is my first new bike that I bought on my own. I've had one new bike before that, but like Daddy bought it, so like I was like, all right, whatever, it's good to go. But with this being my own, I wanted to like put some more thought into it. So we filmed some videos today, and from what I learned is you got to check all your bolts. It was unbelievable. Jamie was explaining stuff about suspension and how if your triple clamps are tightened too much, it'll really mess up your whole feel. So sure enough, I think 3 of the 4 bolts on my triple clamps were way over tightened. So that's one thing. Just make sure everything's torqued right. check your spokes. Every single spoke in both of my wheels were unbelievably loose. So I would have never known to check that and would have probably totaled the bike first ride. So that's a big thing. Check your air filters. The air filter where it goes into the bike, the backside of it was super lubricated, but the front was super dry. So just making sure your air filter has oil on it. Bone dry. Yeah, like to the point where he was rubbing it on his glove and nothing was showing, like you couldn't see any residue.
Wow.
Obviously, like making sure all the joints and whatnot have grease in them and stuff. That you got to grease the bike up. Obviously, if you follow TMA, move those levers in. The levers are never right. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I could think. Chain. Make sure the chain's right. My chain was actually a bit loose. It was about a little over 4 fingers. So make sure the chain's right. I think that's
a basic, and then like the nuts and bolts, check every nut and bolt. Like one of the biggest ones for me, like as a suspension guy, is I check those triple clamps, because if you go more than 24 torque on the bottom on the bottom sets of the triple clamps, you're actually going to create stiction for the forks. And a lot of people go, "Oh, my bike just feels so stiff," and it's not working. Well, the reason it's not working is it's over torqued, and if it's over torqued, you're causing stiction, and the tubes aren't working through it. So his were like that. His were actually. And it's nothing against any dealership. What happens is you get mechanics that are in a hurry to put 10 bikes together. So instead of having, like, I use hand tools, everything in mine is hand tools, T-handles, torque wrenches. What's the easiest way, Dave? Take a gun, put them all in. And that's what happens.
Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would have never even like air filter. I'm sure I changed them when I first got them, but but I would never expect bone dry. That is
bone dry.
That's crazy to me. Jamie, you're around bikes all the time. Like the latest and greatest. What are some things that you're hearing about the Honda 250 that you really like?
Oh, dude, like the engine is fantastic. The suspension's actually set up, they said, pretty neutral right from the factory. It's definitely for a little bit. How much do you weigh?
Like 140.
It's a little bit more than a 140 rider, because we couldn't get the sag. We can only get to 90 sag with his weight. We're gonna have to change springs for him. But I mean, the bike itself, the low end power is supposed to be out of this world. Like everybody is raving that, it is the best 250 to ride. It might not have like that 125 feel revving out, but they said it won't fall off either. They said it actually is. And I am a Honda guy, but I do have a Kawasaki. So I try to say whatever is the best I like, but the new Hondas, I rode one and I have to say, oh my God.
How would you compare the bottom end of like the YZ250, which everyone says you can ride a YZ250 like a 450 sometimes because it's so torquey, that motor works so well. How would you compare the new Honda to something like that, Jamie?
I would say it's got the same pull, but it pulls longer. It's kind of hard. I know. Like what I would say is it's got that. It almost feels like a 350 coming out of the turns. Like when you get on it, it's got the quick response through it, but then it doesn't fall off in the middle. To me, the Yamaha fell off a little bit in the middle, then came back. This Honda just it reminds me of the old Suzuki's. Just I'm a tank, and it's gonna go and just keep going.
Gotcha.
I truly believe the Honda had an incredible feel. Now I didn't ride the 450; I only rode the 250. So this is only off the 450. But like the KX 450, I rode Sir Plump's from the app Casey's, and when I rode his, I went right out and bought one. I do love the new KX 450.
What year did you pick up, Jamie?
24. I got it. I got the 24.
Okay, nice.
I wanted the 50th anniversary because I like the 80s kind of look, 90s kind of look.
Yep.
Oh, okay. That's. I think I saw a picture of that one. I'm very curious to ride one of the newer Hondas. I rode Manny Fresh's YZ250 and Bone Stock, and I was like, holy crap! I'm a heavy guy. And we're getting down there, Jamie. We're down 10 pounds, so we're getting there.
Boy, Dave. That a boy.
We're getting there. But like the bottom end pull, I was like, oh my gosh! Like if I had this 250, because I had a 07 YZ250, Jamie, I could have run faster. Like the only thing that thing was good at was like in the chop, because it had the KYB forks, which were back in 07, you get KYB stuff and dial them right, they were lethal. it could handle the straightaway chop amazingly. I had no issues with ruts or like gnarly sections, but dear God, was that bike slow. And when you revved it, it sounded like a vacuum cleaner. It was it was so bad. But like if I would have had like the 250 that they're up with now, oh my goodness, that would have been amazing. And like I remember, like, and all of you guys might remember, Caitlin and Ethan too, when Yamaha first went with that reverse motor, the thing was a pig. Like people were, I think Stewart left because he just hated the bike so bad. He went over to Suzuki.
It was like riding a bull. It was so wide. It was like riding a horse.
And now they're saying like, hey, how could you make a bike better? Which is absolutely nuts to me. I'll pose this question to you. We'll start with you, Caitlin. If you could have any bike right now, snap of your fingers from any era, including like now, what bike would that be, and how would you like that one set up?
I've been thinking a lot about going bike shopping, even though I really don't need to, but I really, really think I'm going to go with the Yamaha for my next bike.
Oh, okay. One of the new ones.
Go OYZ 250.
Okay, interesting.
I know. Jamie's all thumbs down, but
okay. I like that's different. What you got, Ethan? I mean, you might as well just say the Honda I just bought, but
no. Actually, it's funny. Jamie and I were talking about this earlier. It would be an 06 RM 250. My dad had one. I was about 4 years old when he first got it, and it was the coolest bike I've ever seen and probably ever will see. I don't know. It might just be little kid effect, but that bike was sweet, dude, and that was just like my dream to ride that thing one day. And unfortunately, he sold it before I was old enough to ride it. But I would say a mint RM 250 06 Ricky Carmichael edition with the plastics and stuff, Bill's pipe. That would be
wow.
That would be yep.
Would have not expected that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm curious to know, Jamie. So, like, what's your reservations with the Yamahas?
Okay, so I don't want to put Yamaha down. So I don't want nobody to give me hate mail. I'm just giving you. So we had Matt Flood get a brand new one, and I forgot who else. I think it was Cam. Yeah. Yep. And they just didn't. They just weren't right off. Like they needed a little bit of tweaking to get to work. They didn't work right off the bat. Okay. They like if you get on his Honda, you don't got to do anything. Like I mean, except the regular nuts and bolts track. But you get on that bike, and even AJ, if you watch the review on Matt's bike, fresh off the floor, we all hated it. It just didn't. Now it's great. Now he put a new pipe on it. He changed the electronics on it. It's good, but like fresh off the stock, it wasn't fun to ride. It was actually miserable to ride.
Okay.
Interesting.
So now you can adjust that. I mean, that's not a problem. I'm just saying, like, if I'm gonna buy a brand new bike and I don't want to sit and fiddle with electronics. I just want to get on the Honda or the Suzuki and go for a ride. You know.
Yeah. One good thing that made me realize that was the video he did. AJ did at South Fork. I think it was in Virginia. He got one of the app members' bikes, and he had put about like $3,000 into the 250, and that was what kind of changed AJ's perspective on it, right? So I think it was like he had an extra injector, an airbox. There was something with the airbox that got changed, ECU, pipe, and a few other things that he did to the bike, and that was kind of what flipped AJ's perspective on it. So. Yeah, I don't know. I think the idea of having to spend an extra $3,000 on top of a $9,000 bike, it's crazy. But in the same respect, like, I think it's different for everybody, right? Like somebody like AJ who hops on a stock YZ 250F, right? He's obviously going to be a pick out that stuff. I don't think it would have mattered if I got the Honda, the Suzuki, the Kawasaki, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter.
I disagree with that a little bit because I'm probably the same speed of you, if not slower. And I got on that Yamaha and I didn't like it.
Okay. Then I haven't rode one, so I'm just trying to play, like, I guess.
I did like the Kawi, and I love the RM because it has so much low end. Like the Honda has just as much low end as the Suzuki, and it's just like the only one I didn't like, but I liked the 2023.
Okay.
YZ. I didn't like the 2024.
Okay. Interesting.
I'm curious to know what a Triumph is like.
I heard they're fantastic.
Yeah.
I heard they're like top of the line.
Yeah.
I'd like to try one of them. I haven't ridden one.
Yeah.
Same. I was debating on if I should like look into the new 450 coming out, but
Yeah.
your boy's got bills. Your boy's got bills, so we'll see. I don't know. Jamie, what bike would you pick from any era to ride as your own?
That's easy. That's an easy one. The 1986 Honda CR125. It was my favorite bike I've ever ridden. I'd have to lose another 20 pounds, but that would be my bike. The 86 CR125. I absolutely loved it.
Okay.
That was my childhood 125.
Interesting. Everyone in the chat, say which bike that you would prefer from what era and why. I'd love to figure out like everybody's like dream bike to go to. That should be hilarious. Going back to the chat, we got Ezra Tate, boys and girls. Clap it up for the one and only, the Ezra Tate.
Shout out
Ezra.
Let's see. We're going. Bunny Man's back at it. Me and Caitlin going to the dealership first thing in the morning. I got a Yamaha coupon. Bunny Man. Listen, forget Caitlin. I'll go with you, buddy. If you think, dude, I'll put a wig on and I'll for a new bike, dude. I'll push her to the side and be like, "What do you need, buddy? I got you."
Dave, you don't have an RBF now that I know what it is.
I don't. I know. I'm too smiley. So yeah, maybe he's like, yeah. Maybe he digs that. But yeah, if you're giving out free bikes, Bunny Man, forget Caitlin even existed. Your boy got your back.
Yeah,
I got you.
I could use a practice bike. So,
Right?
you want to bring another guy for a bike? Let me know.
Exactly. Looks like this track, Ethan and Jamie, you think you guys saw this on one of the pods. But this track this weekend, sorry, switching gears, looks like it's pretty enjoyable to watch. We've got some different situations for passing, different lanes for passing. We've got a little bit of breakup. We've got like a long straight. We've got a sandy corner. We've got an overbridge. We've got some really unique features.
Some cool rhythms too.
Cool rhythms. Exactly. People are going 2 out. Some people are going 3 out, 3 in, 2 in. It's cool.
Jet was doing a quad. I don't know if you guys caught that.
No, didn't.
Oh, here's the commercial. Here's
I saw that. That's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a 300. I want a 125, Jamie. Like you would not believe. I love that bike, but I have a feeling it's gonna be a bigger bore. If I'm not, I don't know. It could be a KX125. I don't know. But we'll see. But yeah, do you think that 2025 is the era where we'll start to see more cooler tracks, say for A1, which wasn't that great? But do you think this year we're going to see a lot more interesting, a lot more pro racer loved tracks out there?
I don't know. You know what's kind of weird? I think we talked about this before. Like all of a sudden, it's not Supercross anymore; it's Super Motocross, and all of a sudden, it's not Arena Cross; it's Arena Motocross, whatever it's called. I feel like they're trying to bunch all the tracks into one instead of having motocross, Supercross. They're trying to have it all one, and they're just trying to make it, a combination of everything for TV rights. And I hope they don't do that because I like having the different, the Supercross series and then the Motocross series. I hope they don't just make it one series. That would be disappointing.
100%. Yeah, I do like it being separated. You know what I mean? Like it allows you to really have 2 different cool ass disciplines, and the more that they mesh them together, the more you don't really have, I don't know, and I don't want to sound like I'm a stuck in the past old school kind of mentality, but I do like that we have outdoors and we have indoors. That to me is a really unique aspect of our sport, so I would love to see that come back. I want to see Supercross tracks get back to the 07, 06s, 05, some really cool sections, that really allow for some great racing. Throw in some badass quads, some big triples, slow the guys down. They don't mind technical, cool jumps. What they don't like is that when you're going 4th gear wide open, that's a gnarly setup. So I hope that stuff starts to come back because it'd be phenomenal. Yeah, that would just be that'd be great for me. What races are you guys planning ahead to this year for Supercross?
You saying to go to?
Yeah.
Well, we're obviously going to Foxborough, but I would like to hit East Rutherford and Philly as well because those are all within 2 hours from my house. So And obviously they're back-to-back weekends, or there might be a break with one weekend in between, but definitely those three in the East Coast, I would say.
Yeah, I love Supercross. They definitely blessed the Northeast for us. We have Pittsburgh, Philly, Boston, New England, New Jersey, and then Detroit's right down the road. That's only like 6.5. I will probably hit 6 races.
I love that. That's sick. Okay, I like that. Caitlin, you got to show them up now. How many you hitting this year?
Yeah, I missed 10-minute wall sit.
By the way, that's insane.
Oh yeah, clap it up for her. 10-minute wall sit.
I almost got 3 minutes. Felt like a champ. Heard 10 minutes. I was like, wow, all right, I'm off pace.
Honestly, I don't even know how I did it that day. I really don't.
Well,
kudos. So I got tickets for Pittsburgh. I thought about Philly, but it's like a 5-hour drive, which I know isn't horrible, but that's a lot for me. And I'm thinking about hitting Detroit. And I was thinking about going down south for at least one.
Okay. Made me eat my words. So okay, that's just going to a bunch.
I got to plan some more trips now. You guys make me feel like I'm not doing enough.
Well, I will see you out in Pittsburgh. I will be there. Dave, I need tickets.
Oh,
I got you, buddy. Yeah, I got you. Don't worry. No, I'm looking forward to a bunch of the East Coast. But I don't know what it is. And guys, tell me if I'm the only person. You guys in the chat too. East Coast Supercross feels different. Am I wrong? Like there's a different vibe to it. No? Does everyone feel like it's the same?
What do you say?
Is it the same East Coast, West Coast? I guess it depends on, like, to me, the 450s all feel the same. I mean, I know the dirt's really different, but it's the 250s. It's like, who's in which class? That's when I get excited. Like, sometimes I like the West Coast better than the East Coast, and then sometimes I like the East Coast better than the West Coast. Like, it all depends on, who's racing what, and for me, that's how I look at it, because I love racing's racing. I'll watch arena cross. I mean, I watch everything, but actually we just got done watching the second round of arena cross before this came on. So yeah, I would rather watch racing constantly.
Yeah. I will say, sorry.
The feel of being at them, like West Coast just feels so different to me. Like the West Coast rounds, the fans that are there, like there's just the air of like everyone is just so excited on the East Coast. Everyone's like amped. Everyone's like,
that's because we have to wait longer. They get it in January. We gotta wait.
Yeah, well, yeah, dude. It's just like everyone's amped and just pumped. There's like good vibes all the way around, and excitement. And like I feel like the West Coast, like it's just. I think they're just so used to seeing pros all the time, and all these like they can ride more throughout the year. And a lot of the teams are based out of there and stuff like that. So
our dedication's a little bit different, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
Like we're hitting the races in like freezing cold temperatures. Like we're dedicated. We're like our excitement's different because we're like leaving our house in sub-zero temperatures to go watch dirt bike races.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels more like Supercross to me. East Coast. I love my West Coast family. I love the sport through and through. Just something about it just feels a little bit different. So I don't know. It could just be me going crazy.
I think it's because you're an East Coast boy. We're East Coast people, so we like the East Coast.
In the same respect, too, you gotta think about it like this, right? So like these first 3 rounds have been all in California. Like you could have very easily gone to all 3 races, no matter where you are, right?
Yeah.
But you go to East Rutherford, you're right on the border of Jersey and New York, right? So you got people from Jersey coming, you got people from New York coming, and you got people from every. You get like a very diverse crowd. You know what I mean? From everywhere. Like even Foxborough, you're gonna get people from New York, Massachusetts, obviously, Connecticut, Vermont, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, and same for the other rounds. Like I feel like there's a lot more people, a lot of different types of people coming in. I think that can attest to why it feels like that. But.
For sure. And like Daniel Youngblood's saying, is like the vibe is different in 250 East. It seems more exciting on the East Coast. I've seen that over the years, not just this year. It's going to be crazy. The fact that so many guys have like migrated to the East Coast because they were hurt, earlier in the season, or sorry, later in the season, and which meant they had to heal up and stuff. But yeah, there's just a different vibe around like the East Coast. Maybe it's the dirt, they can hang it out more or something like that. But it's definitely different. As we're saying now, I'm right. Thank you. I appreciate that. Makes me feel like I'm not going crazy. Bunny Man saying Caitlin's going to be at whatever track he is at. So I'm going to have to like screen her calls. So if Bunny Man offers to buy her a bike, I'm going to impersonate Caitlin so hard, dude, and get that bike off of her. I'll do
Top of the wig.
Dude, I'm going to do the wig and be like, yeah, come on in. Like, geez, dude, this girl's got big shoulders. Girl was rough, man. I don't.
No comment. No comment.
Yeah, dude, your beard's really scratchy. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh man, I need a new bike so bad.
What do you have for a bike right now?
I've got a 19 KX 450, which is like, dude, I've got such low hours on it. Like over the years, I haven't been able to ride as much. And the thing's like pretty much like all new. I got it from the Cowie team. It was like a Eli and Bowers leftover in the truck. They were like, hey, dude, we're getting rid of this bike. We're just like, do you want a bike for cheap? It's brand new. The only thing that you're gonna have to use is like our clutch and our frame, but everything else is like going to be from the ground up new. Got that, and it's a fresh bike. It's just sitting here, but I don't know, man. I'm like looking at the Triumph. I'm hearing the Cowie's awesome, and honestly, even the Suzuki, Jamie, like there's deals all around me where that with the new Suzuki, and I'm not Ricky, I'm not Stu, I'm not Sexton, I'm not Tomac. Really, I can go just as fast on that as I can anything else.
I like the Kawasaki. I mean, I like the Suzukis. I have no problem with them. They corner fantastic, and you have to remember they're the same engine from 2019, so they're bulletproof. They're not. Yeah. They're not going to break.
Exactly. So that's
bulletproof.
Yeah. That's I am liking that aspect of it. So we'll see. We'll see what shakes up. I am getting the Cowie refresh and revamp. So we'll see what we pull
I think
out.
You should go with the. I think you and Caitlin should both go with the Triumph, and that way we can all ride your bike then.
That would be sick.
I wonder if anybody in our TMA group has the Triumph.
I don't know, but they're on sale, right?
I don't think so.
Gnarly first turn crash LCQ 250. My buddy has one. He's going to a bunch of them. He's in Chicago, but he's going to do a bunch of the classes this year. So keep an eye out for that one.
Ay, caramba.
That's 5 guys down.
That was crazy. Dude, the 250 LCQ, is there any scarier place to be in the world?
Oh, that dude's down bad too.
Yeah.
Who is that?
I don't know. Is that a club bike? No, it's not a club bike.
My goodness. Greco's in this one as well. Shout out Josh Greco.
Yeah, I hate to see anybody get hurt. I mean, I love this sport. I know it's dangerous, but I hate to see anybody go down.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
We got Billy Laninovich. Dude, what a blast from the past that guy is, huh? I remember watching him. What was it, the Amsoil Honda team when they were on the CR 125s? Watching that guy, and for a long time, Jamie, before it was the Patrick Evans, the Josh Hansons doing the whips. Laninovich had the biggest whip of all time, dude. Oh no, is he down?
Yeah, he just threw it away.
Oh no. Shout out Scotty Wennerstrom too. We got our buddy in there as well.
I wonder what he hurt.
I don't think he got hurt.
I mean, he didn't he went down soft and he was hitting the whoops funny.
What happened?
He was hitting the whoops real funny and he was like way too far over the bars. Like he was nose down, but then he just washed out. But I don't know if he like took a shot, maybe he got the wind knocked out of him or something.
Because he was in a transfer spot. He was up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was second, yeah.
That's too bad. Is there somebody that's number 800 out there in first?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Am I crazy for thinking this? But there are just some numbers that should be retired. I think
number
4, number 7, 259. Who else? 14,
199.
199. Oh, 100%. 800. Who else?
This is gonna be dumb. That was Alessi,
ACs.
Right? Yeah, 800 Alessi.
Yeah, they should like. It just feels so weird to see like people like, oh yeah, I'm changing to number 7 next year. It's like, dude, come on. Or like when Baggett went to number 4, like that was like,
that was.
oh man,
You
it's
know what
weird.
number needs to be retired? They should really look into it. Is number 330. We should retire 330.
330. What do you think? Hey, Caitlin, don't laugh that hard.
That might be a little biased. I think just a little.
Yeah, 330. Oh, that's funny.
See, when
no,
I
but like
hear
it's just
330,
so
I not
weird.
only think AJ, I think because I live in 330 area code.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yeah.
Shut up.
To give the number out to
330.
Ezra.
Get Ezra excited.
Yeah,
I know he's getting ready to type something in the chat.
And now he has 1330. I only need 7 more digits.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, I can hear. Dude, she
dude, we are such like the TMA people, dude. I make these same exact jokes, dude. Jamie and dude, I don't know if we were on the phone too much together, but like the way that our personalities just rub off on each other, it's immaculate, man.
It's crazy too, because like as much as we talked, it's really not like a whole lot. Like it's just like
we live nowhere near each other.
Yeah,
no, dude, but it's crazy.
It's so weird how natural. Yeah, it's just
God. I love this
weird,
family, dude. I really do. Good gosh.
Yeah.
If anything happens to
everybody
either one
together
of you
at summer camp.
Oh, it's gonna be once Jackson is out there. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be a madhouse.
For real.
We have this past year's summer camp was probably the most fun I had on dirt bikes, in a long time. It was the people are just absolutely amazing. We went out to dinner. We were in Illinois, and we wanted to find a place, and AJ likes to eat good food, so we go out the first night, and him and I go out, and it's like there's a piano player, there's wine serving, right? They definitely, we look like we were on the other team, like we look like we were on a date. And the next night he goes, let's go back there and eat again. I want to get that good food. I said, okay. Well, somebody from the summer camp heard we were going there. Next thing you know, we got 50 people going to this Italian restaurant, right? When we walked in, and there's people with their gear still on, the piano players playing, like we looked like hobos going into that one. But the food was fantastic.
You should have seen us after our Quia Creek class with AC a couple months ago. We showed up to this like pretty nice steakhouse, like just changed in the parking lot. Can very obviously tell that we're not like clean at all.
Yeah.
Oh my God, felt so out of place, dude. It was hilarious. We'll say though, best steak I've ever had. It was pretty good.
That's always a good time. No, it's gonna be epic, man. I'm so stoked for it. I gotta figure out the best way, because my buddy lives about 30 minutes away. So I'm wondering, like, and he'll have a kid at that point, like a little like newborn. I'm like, should I stay at his place, or because like he invited me, or like, is it worth renting a camper or something? I'm trying to figure out like what the best route is for that one.
Well, if you're bringing a newborn with you, I don't recommend a camper.
No, you're saying that the buddy's
No,
house.
I'm not. No. Yeah, my buddy, my buddy's house. He's gonna have a little girl. Like in a couple
then
months,
if you want a little break, get the camper.
Yeah,
get
honestly,
a tent.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea. Instead of getting an Airbnb, because I would assume that it's probably pretty close to the same price for an Airbnb for the week as it would be for a camper. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
I just need a place to like shower, a little outdoor thing. I'll bring my own tent and stuff, and just like keep it pretty low key. Like, yeah, that might be the move.
Yeah,
I brought my camper down to Tomahawk, and that was nice to have. I have like bunk beds and stuff in there. A bunch of guys would stay in there. That was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah. I'll look for like RV rentals.
Well, if I don't sell mine, Dave, you can sleep. Well, we'll bring mine up. You can stay with me.
I'm gonna see if my uncle will bring. Because if I can get my cousin to do it for the week, like we could probably stay in that together. That would be actually
because I'm
gave me an idea.
Winchester has like they've got hookups,
yeah,
don't they?
They got hookups, and
that's what I was wondering.
I'm not sure if that's the truth.
Yeah, they have hookups.
Somebody taught me this last year, but if you download the Outdoorsy app, you could literally find campers like within 5-mile radius from you to rent. And people most of the time will go and drop them off for you. Like if you don't have a vehicle to tow it with, they'll drop it off where you're going and come back and pick it up when you're done with it.
Huh.
Caitlin, if you were nice, you would put that in the app so we all had that information.
Oh, I'll put it in the app right now.
Well, thank you.
Being helpful,
Dude,
right?
Gavin Towers coming out of the LCQ. That's cool.
Buddy man goes, hey, you're my guy, Dave, but if you impersonate Caitlin, we're going to be in the house tussling. Shout
A
out
good
Matt
tussle or
Jensen,
bad
what's up?
tussle?
I don't want to find out, man. I don't want to find out.
Would you find out for a new bike?
Yeah.
I don't know. Hey, man, hey, slow down back
Like-
there, all right? You're
Like,
real
what
tough.
would you do for a Klondike bar?
Oh, for
yeah.
a new bike.
Yeah. What would Dave do for a new bike?
Morals
Oh,
have just
gosh.
no.
Oh, man, for a new bike, man, yeah. Man, Dave got real different. Oh, he's getting new bikes now, so yeah.
Yeah, he's getting new bikes now.
He wears a lot of makeup. It's crazy. I don't know. Oh, that's too funny.
He identifies as he ship.
Oh man. Let's see. Ben's saying Dave needs to ride West Coast woods. He would have a new understanding of what a hill climb is. Dude, I am so not good at hill climb. Ben, that might be good for me to actually like dust off the old skill set, because hill climbs, dude, it's gosh. I don't know. It's not my strong suit.
That might be one of my favorite things about riding. My dad, growing up, we did a lot of trail riding, and he would always be the sicko to send it up. And I'm like, well, if he can do it, I can do it. So, I'd be on my little XR 50 or 75 or whatever, and I would give it my best shot. I love hill climbs. I got a pretty nice hill in the backyard, like legit hill climb, and it's like daily routine. Every time I ride, I got to do it like 15 times, like bare minimum.
I dig that.
I love hill climb. That's too much fun.
Yeah, I gotta brush up the riding skills. Yeah, see, it's not my strong suit. It's not my.
I grew up doing that stuff, so it's just like I'm better in the woods, honestly, than I am on the track. That's one thing I want to do this year. Actually, I want to go do like a J-Day, hair scramble.
Oh, dude, for sure. Go and do it. J-Day is where it's at, dude. Like 100%. It's such a good time to be there, and Ethan and the boys, they do a good job.
I honestly love a good woods ride.
Yeah,
that's like everybody makes fun of me because I have bark busters on my bike. I didn't even know that
we're gonna make fun of you for that for sure. But
I know I didn't even know it was like a frowned upon thing in like the moto world.
Yeah, bark busters. It's
well, now
not a good deal.
Did she tell you why she really had them on there?
Why did you have them on there?
To protect her fingernails. She had her nails painted. She wanted to make sure they didn't break.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. That's too funny.
She's gonna kill me, I know.
That's too funny. Oh, that's too hilarious. Oh, that cracks me up. Boys and girls, don't forget, we've got some amazing sponsors on board helping us out. Go show them some love. We got their promo codes linked below. FXR, Partzilla.com, Phoenix Handlebars, Flow Vision Goggles, Creo P1 Designs for graphics. And if you do want some custom gear, they can hook you up. EVS, Evans Power Coolant. Shout out to the Moto Academy, of course, and Speed and Sport Adventure Tours. If you guys are looking ahead to a race, which, hey, we said what races we're going to be at. If you guys want an experience like any other, head to thecollectivexp.com, at thecollectiveex on Instagram. Contact at thecollectivexp.com for any questions. If you guys are looking for an experience that is unlike any other out there, you're going to see a lot of imitators, a lot of phonies, but there are none like the collective experience. We make you part of the family at a day at the races. We truly get you immersed on a team. You're not just there for a day's meet and greet. You are part of that team's family, shaking hands, kissing babies. You're helping out with the rigs. You're helping out with the team. You're helping out with the bikes at all levels. Insane access. Eating with the teams, you get the radios, a full setup. I can talk hours about it. And our internship program will get you hired. If you want to get a job in the industry, if you're trying to make a name for yourself, make connections, we can get you there 110%. Don't forget, use the Moto Academy promo code to save the Moto Academy and head to the races like an absolute G. LCQ 450 gate drop. We're going to start seeing a lot more factory guys in these LCQs. It's going to be a matter of time before I think the top 7 or 8 are factory riders in the LCQ. We've got Justin Cooper, Colt Nichols. I mean, how long before people start moving up to the 450 class, especially a lot of our 250 champions, and we start seeing this get more flooded? Like, what does that mean for the sport, Jamie and Ethan? Like, where do you see that impacting things from a, I guess, sport longevity standpoint?
Well, it's going to hurt, I think, a little bit because there's not going to be enough rides. It's almost like you have to make. It's not. I mean, no. It's going to be racing is going to be very, very competitive, which is going to be great for us, the fans. I feel bad for the riders that put all that effort in all those years, and then don't get a ride. They get one quick shot, and if they don't make it in that one shot, they're done.
Yeah, I would agree. Caitlin, what are your thoughts on it?
Honestly, I don't know.
It can mix things up. I mean, you gotta have an opinion, but I get it.
I think it's just gonna get more cutthroat. You know what I mean? If you've got the top 20 guys all, being factory or guys who are that caliber who end up being a privateer, whatever the case may be, right? I think it will get a little more cutthroat and a little more aggressive. You'll see more of those takeouts and a lot of people fighting in the heats and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you got to think about it. Yeah. You got 20 guys in the heat who all should be in the main. It's going to get hectic. It's going to get crazy, and you're going to see some crazy stuff. You throw the top 250 guys in the 450 class right now, and that would be insane. You know what I mean? Like, it's just going to be a fight to the death every time they go out on the track. So, if that does end up happening where it's just so many guys where it's, top 10 in the LCQ are all factory level guys, it's going to get nuts.
I agree. And it's crazy because look at the battle we have now. We've got Morans, we've got Mitchell Harrison, we've got Slosher, we've got Starling, then we got Harlan behind them, Scott Meshy, B-Ray, and then don't forget, further down, you've got Paulie, you've got Carnow, you've got Rod Bell, Rodriguez, Chisholm, factory guy. Come on. That's I forgot to put in my freaking fantasy picks. God damn it. The minute you said Chisholm, I was like, Chiz is gonna chiz. And I'm like, oh fuck. I forgot to throw that in there. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh, well, that's gonna be my wash, I guess, for the season. But it's insane. It's really just an absolute crazy time our sport's in. But yeah, it's gonna get tighter. Jackson brought up last week in a point of hey, should we do almost like what F1 does, where we've got a your premier class, which would be 450s, then you've got your your F2, your F3, which is almost like a B main or C main, depending on how you want to look at it, and that kind of strengthening the sport a little bit and giving the factory the satellite support 450 and 250 guys a championship points chase for themselves that they can actually realistically attain. So I think that's an interesting point.
I don't like that, Dave.
You don't?
I don't. No, and I'll tell you why. What's the reason we all do? What's the reason we all race dirt bikes? Well, one, we got on a dirt bike and we loved it. Two, it's affordable. You show me anything that's affordable in Formula One, anything. Even the hats are too expensive. You know what I mean? Now you are literally taking our grassroots sport and making it a
bougie.
Bougie. I don't want bougie. I really don't.
Are there ways to get around it? Are there ways to get around, I guess, having that huge? I mean, because we all want our sport to be as big as F1, but how do you get around the changing of this sport being attainable and affordable for people? Can you have both of those? Yeah.
Look at MotoGP. Okay, top of the motor street bike racers, MotoGP. Everybody watches it. It's on TV. They have the same budget as Formula One, right? What do you watch prior to that? When this isn't on, we'll watch Loretta Lynn's, we'll watch Arena Cross, we'll watch all other forms of racing. What do you watch that has MotoGP bikes? Nothing.
You're right.
You get to watch that, and that's it. So there's no growth into it. You know what I mean? There's no you don't see 600 super sport races on TV or super bike races on TV. You might see them once in a while on MAV TV, but with motocross, you watch MXGP, you watch Arena Cross, you watch Supercross. And I think once you take that out of it, and you make it bougie, you make it Ferrari-ish, then it's not going to be the grassroots sport that we all love, going to Budds Creek and Unadilla and all the places we all grew up with.
I can definitely see that point too. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, the attainability of like picking your dirt bike and being like, oh, if I work hard enough, I can be Dungey one day or something. Like, yeah, I definitely see that aspect of it.
Like you look at some kids that like like live in the projects and they play basketball. Well, they actually have a dream that they can work themselves out of that and go play basketball for college and get an education. Well, there's some kids in motocross that they live in their hometown and they believe that if they work hard enough, they can make it. I mean, if you make it bougie like Formula One, you're going to have a budget of like $10 million for a 80cc race team.
I 100% definitely agree. And like some of the greatest in our sports, Ricky, dirt poor, Stu, dirt poor, Reed, dirt poor. Yeah. So that definitely, dirt poor. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. And if you make it like Formula One, now those dirt poor phenoms we never got to see because we're only having the bougie kids that are like no fun on the interviews. And you know what I mean? I wouldn't want that. I personally wouldn't want that.
Definitely understand. Yeah, we want our sport to stay attainable for us. So I definitely like that aspect of it. Justin Cooper obviously leading the way in this one. I love the fact that we've got like people like kind of like in an all out fight. Moran, Slosher, Starling. That was actually really cool to see. That kind of like woke me up a little bit. Blows on that beta. What are we thinking about that bike?
I'd like to ride it.
Yeah.
To be honest, not as much as I want to ride the Triumph. I think the Triumph is
same. Better. Yeah, I would agree. The beta just it looks wonky almost. It looks like it's the CG super top heavy. It looks like it's got tall bars, tall seat, like wheels look extra big, pipes super high up there. I don't know why. It just looks like it's not the most fun to ride.
No, I'd rather the Triumph.
I would too. Yeah, I think that's the route I'm going to go. If I end up investing that way. LCQs down in the books, heat races in the books, awesome racing. We're going to be set up for a really cool main in the 250 and 450. I'm excited for that one. Guys, if you are not in the Moto Academy app, download it right now. It's very affordable and you get so many perks and bonuses. The community in there is it's like no other. It's incredible. That part is worth its weight in gold, not to mention all the cool inside scoops you get, all of the cool promo codes. And you have a online learning experience that really cannot be topped. Shout out to my amazing, wonderful guests tonight. We had Caitlin Bertucci, the famous Caitlin, Moto Academy's very own driver, Jamie, and Ethan Quinto. Guys, be sure to follow along with these two. We're going to link them below in the chat, as well as get you guys Caitlin's Instagram, phone numbers, social security, address, the whole deal. I'll get you guys all locked in. And guys, don't forget, if you see these guys around the races, driver Jamie or Ethan, give them a big wave and a handshake and a thank you and a hug for all the work they put in, because they will work nonstop, tirelessly to bring that app to you guys and do what they can for you. Don't forget, use the promo codes below to save your guys self some cash, keep the money in the wallet. And if you're attending a race, hit me up. Let me hook you up at a race of your choice. We do it for a bunch of people. We want to make it happen for our loyal watchers. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Everybody in the chat, I appreciate you guys. We love you. We love you like family. We're going to be over in the app, and I'm thinking we might not see you next week. I think I'll be in Arizona for that one, Phoenix. Not sure yet, but I'll let you guys know. And if not, maybe we'll have Jackson lead the way for this one. But thank you to my guests. Thank you guys for watching. Head over to the app now, and we will talk to you guys soon. Okay. Sweet. Awesome, boys and girls. Awesome.
Caitlin, don't be mad at us for picking on you.